Hey, awesomes. How's it going? Finally getting the, had a little bit of a, still having fighting this bronchitis. So I apologize for the tardiness here. But by way of friendly reminder, Project 2 oral briefing is not due this Sunday. It's due next Sunday. So I know teams, I've had several emails from teams this week. We've had some good conversations back and forth. Thank you for those emails. So I'm going to take some time now I know we've kind of reviewed, gone over a little bit at the Project 2 oral briefing. A few things I just wanted to highlight for you that might perhaps help a little bit. But I think because what sometimes with these assignment descriptions, and let me move my face out of the way down here a little bit, is that we there's several layers to it, right? So you've got here your team is going to give this 12 to 15-minute video. Here are the things you need to hit, right? The bullet points, and then the other bullet points, and then there's this breakdown right down here. Necessarily want to kind of make a distinction between the two, right? So you got the overall, right? This is the kinds of information. I just want to point out, right, that it says right here, include the following kinds of information in your briefing, right? You're going to need a topic description with background information. What's to be accomplished? What problem are you attempting to resolve? Why it is important that this project go forward? And then kind of within that, we have these breakdowns, right? Within the outline that we're going to look at. So I would encourage you probably, depending on how you want to do this, you guys can determine in your teams, but you'll have like an overall introduction, right? We introduce the members, talk about the qualifications perhaps of the team and yourself, the purpose of your presentation. So at the beginning here, we're kind of just setting up, that's kind of like your first slide kind of in a way, right? Here's what we're going to be talking about today. Here's who I am. It's like an introduction. And then there's this little bit of like forecasting, or as we might say, foreshadowing of what's coming up, right? Here's what we're going to discuss. This presentation is going to include the following information, right? So then after you have your introduction, right, now each presenter is going to then follow these guidelines. So, right. So let's say you have one person do the introduction for the entire presentation, right? And maybe that same person comes back, later, depending on how you want to structure it. Or I think it makes sense, perhaps that the introduction for the entire presentation maybe makes sense that the team leader does that, or the team manager. Generally, I think that's how they've been done in the past. So the team manager does the overall introduction, passes it now to the first presenter, right? Forecast the structure, and then use slides of no more than 4 major points, right, to present the related information that you are discussing, right? So now is when you would then take these particular things. So maybe the first person is going to discuss a certain aspect, and that's when we probably would slide back up here and say, okay, maybe the first person does topic description, right? And the next person maybe does what is to be accomplished, and then maybe what specific problem and why is it important that you're moving forward, right? So that could be broken up, depending on how many of these you had. So you might have 2 or 3 of these, right? Depending on how many people that you have. So ideally, I think this is most teams are around 5 to 6, maybe 7 people. So feel free to modify these times, okay? Don't feel like because I'm not going to be sitting here with my phone on the stopwatch, okay? Recording, right? Who talks for 2 minutes, who talks for 3 minutes, who talks for 1.5 minutes. Okay, these are guidelines, okay? This is an outline. This is just something to kind of give you a foundation, okay? So I don't want you to feel like that everything that you do has to meet this exact thing, okay? If you feel in your groups as you set this up so someone's going to give an overall just introduction to the entire presentation, then your first presenter, right, your next team member, is going to do a topic description with background information. So that might be what they're going to talk about in their slides, right? So the subject matter for the discussion in each one of those presentations comes kind of more, refer back up to here, right? So the very first person that's going to present, right, is going to be down here, right? Forecast the structure